Yo, what's going on, boys? Welcome back to the Juicecast. So, I actually wasn't even planning on making this video. I saw that Khamzat potentially missed weight. I saw a lot of people talking about this on Twitter, but I didn't really think I was going to make a video on it. But I've been getting a lot of comments from you guys on the second channel as well as on the main channel of me, giving my thoughts on exactly this situation. So I decided to hop on. I know it's a bit late. I'm a bit late to the party, but better late than never. I decided to hop on here and talk about Khamzat potentially missing weight because a lot of people are talking about this. So let me give you some backstory on exactly what happened here. So Khamzat Chimaev ended up weighing in last. He was the last fighter to weigh in on this UFC fight card, and he looked very dejected on the scales, to say the least. He looked very lethargic. It almost seemed like he was going to miss weight, but he officially weighed in at exactly 185. But the reason for why a lot of fans think that he missed weight is because of a few different reasons. But mainly the reason is because the scale didn't really settle. So let me show you exactly what I'm talking about here. So here is Khamzat on the scales. He obviously looks very dejected, very lethargic. He hops on the scale here. And you can see the scale doesn't really settle, and the commission just says 185. And because of that, a lot of fans are thinking, did he actually miss weight or make weight, or did he actually miss weight? There definitely are a lot of people, questioning one way or the other. And just to give you guys a little bit more backstory, Khamzat Chimaev is a main card fighter, and usually main card fighters are the first guys to weigh in. And the reason for why that is traditionally these guys make weight the night before or maybe in the early hours of fight weigh-in day. And because of that, you want to weigh in as quickly as you possibly can so you would have more time to rehydrate before your fight. But the fact that Khamzat took so long in order to actually weigh in tells you that he definitely did struggle a lot with the weight cut. For one, and for two, alongside with all the other context clues that I mentioned before, the fact that Khamzat did miss weight in the past. I know it was a weight class below, but he did miss weight in the past. He was the last fighter to weigh in, and also the scales didn't necessarily settle. A lot of people are thinking that he did miss weight. That's really the thought process behind this. And obviously, this is not the first time that something like this has happened. Also, we had Khabib miss weight or allegedly miss weight. Very similar thing here where he weighed in. The scale didn't really settle, as you can see right here. And the commission just said 155 for Khabib. And, they just didn't really give an opportunity for the scale to settle either in that situation. And a lot of people are saying this is very similar. It's happened before. It could happen again. Now, I'm not really accusing the UFC of doing anything wrong. I have no idea if they had any connection to this at all. I do see a motive for why the UFC would want Khamzat to make weight, obviously, but I'm not necessarily accusing them of anything. But I guess my point of view is it doesn't look great. I get why the UFC would want this fight to continue. This is a huge fight. This is probably the biggest fight that we've had maybe in the last 365-day period. Definitely the biggest fight of this year by far. It's not even close. But even compared to last year, I think it's probably the biggest fight of last year as well. Big fights of last year were Islam versus JDM, Khamzat versus DDP. Both those fights were really big. Now, the fights themselves were very boring. But at least going into it, both those fights were very big. But I don't think it's nearly as big as this fight between Strickland and Khamzat. So I get the motive for why the UFC probably would want to keep this fight going. But as I said, I have no proof. I have no idea. I don't know if there's any wrongdoing there. But that's kind of the thought process that a lot of fans have. And outside of that, I did also want to show this picture as well. Or not this picture of Khamzat. Clearly does not look very good on the scales. Now, I did hear some people talking about the fact that maybe Khamzat is faking it. Maybe he's just trying to get in Strickland's head, making Strickland think he has an advantage, and Khamzat is struggling to make weight. But in reality, he's just trolling, or he just wants to get an advantage over Strickland. I highly doubt that's the case, to be honest. I mean, as I said before, the whole point of weighing in early is so you can have more time to rehydrate. And especially a guy like Khamzat, who has missed weight in the past, if he is able to make weight, or if he was, on weight from the beginning, he wants to weigh in as quickly as possible. He wants to rehydrate as quickly as possible. I highly doubt that this was some sort of a troll or something like that. This guy had a lot of trouble making weight and allegedly making weight. I don't even know if he did, but he obviously had a lot of trouble cutting weight. I'll put it like that. So I don't think it was any sort of troll job. I think this was legitimate. And yeah, now some of you guys may wonder, what do I think? Do I think he actually missed weight? Do I think this is, a conspiracy theory? What do I think? Well, in my opinion, I feel like there is a good amount of evidence to suggest that he actually did miss weight. The three factors that I mentioned before: he has missed weight before, the scales didn't really get to settle, and also he was the last guy to weigh in, and he weighed in at 185 exactly. Does feel a bit fishy. Now, obviously, I don't have incredible inside information. I have no idea. But based upon the information that we do have, to me, it seems like it's at the very least possible that he missed weight. I guess I don't know 100% one way or the other, but it does seem like it's possible. And in my opinion, I think it's actually kind of likely that he did miss weight. But it is what it is. Obviously, I get it. This is a huge fight. The UFC really wanted to have this fight continue forward, and that's what we're going to get. Obviously, I personally want to see this fight. Obviously, it's a huge fight, biggest fight probably in the last 2 years. I know a lot of you guys in the comments probably also really want to see this fight go on, but I guess it's just not a great look in terms of a fairness perspective if indeed he did miss weight. Because if he did miss weight, I don't know how much it would really change unless Khamzat missed weight by like 10 pounds or something egregious, which is possible. He weighed in at 178 when he was supposed to weigh in at 170. So it's possible he missed weight by a lot. But unless he missed weight by like 10 plus pounds, I think the fight probably would have continued between both these guys. But it would have been a Charles Oliveira situation where Khamzat Chimaev will have to vacate the belt, and even if he beats Strickland, he would not gain the belt. But the belt would be vacated. But if Strickland wins the fight, he would have the opportunity to win the belt. It would be the same situation as Charles Oliveira versus Justin Gaethje. And in my opinion, in this situation, I don't think it really changes anything. Yeah, it does suck for Khamzat. He probably would not be able to, or not probably, he wouldn't be able to get that title defense over Sean Strickland. But at the same time, if you miss weight, then whatever. I don't really feel bad for you at all. But outside of just that one little thing, that one title defense, Khamzat's probably moving up to 205 anyway. I was talking about this a lot on my live streams. I'll say it once again. Khamzat's moving up regardless of what happens in this fight. If he beats Strickland, he moves up. If he loses to Strickland, he moves up. So I don't really know how much it would really matter if he actually indeed did miss weight and the UFC had to strip him of the title but continue forward with the fight. As I said, the only real issue would be if Khamzat missed weight by 10 pounds or something. Then there would be a real chance that the fight could get canceled. But outside of that, I think it probably would continue forward. But obviously, I'm just speculating at this point. It is what it is. Now, in terms of the fight itself, do I think this could play a role? 100% I do. I definitely think this could play a role. Now, if you guys remember my main channel video, I personally think Khamzat is going to maul Strickland early, but this definitely could change things, man. If Khamzat doesn't have great cardio, which he doesn't have in general, but if his cardio is even worse going into this fight than normal, there is that possibility that Sean Strickland can force Khamzat to work early in round one, and maybe by round two, maybe halfway through round three or in the round three in general, Khamzat could be really tired and Strickland can have an easier time at keeping the fight on the feet, utilizing his jab, pressuring effectively, and start to pull away. It definitely could play a really significant factor, a really significant role in this fight for sure. So we'll see what happens, obviously, in the fight itself. I definitely am very excited to see the fight one way or the other, but a lot of people were talking about Khamzat potentially missing weight. As I said, in my opinion, I think the answer to this is honestly yes. I do think he did miss weight, if I had to say, but I don't have any legitimate insider info. I would be very interested to say one other thing. I would be very interested to see what Khamzat weighs in at going into the octagon. That's something I definitely would be interested in. Sometimes UFC releases that. I believe it depends where they fight at. That really determines if they do release those in the cage weigh-in numbers. I don't know if they do that in New Jersey or not. I believe they do that in California, but I'm not sure if they do it in New Jersey. I guess we'll see tomorrow. We'll see Saturday night. But I would be very interested to see what he weighs in at if they do release those numbers. But nonetheless, that's kind of my thoughts on Khamzat making weight or missing weight. We'll see. All right. I don't know if we'll see actually, but those are my thoughts, I guess. But we'll see what happens tomorrow night. Also, be on the lookout on this channel. I will be posting my instant reaction to the main event as soon as it happens. I will also, after that, be doing a live stream talking about exactly the main event, the rest of the card on my main channel, Juicy MMA. Be on the lookout for that as well. A lot of content on this channel. I posted a bunch of videos over these past couple of days. A bunch more videos will be coming out subsequently after this as well. So be on the lookout. I appreciate all you guys for the support. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Do you think Khamzat Chimaev did indeed miss weight, or do you not think so? Let me know what you guys think down below. But until the next time, peace out, fellas.